Yo, what's up, guys? It's me, Rahul. It's been a while, but Players Cup 3 is underway. I hope you guys are doing well on your qualification process. I myself have actually finished up my keys last night during stream. So instead of making YouTube content and stuff like that for this, I've been streaming more frequently and making TikTok content, both developing and talking about what's been going on with my Players Cup 3 run. I have found myself at 97 rep, if you can see over here. Let me zoom in a little bit further, maybe. Yeah, okay. Seems good. One more maybe. So I played in 50 keys, 97 rep earned. That should, I think, be very good to qualify. The bar is probably going to be higher than last time, simply because I think there's more people participating, more people understand kind of the dynamic of what time they want to play, what kind of decks they want to play. Last time felt like a little bit more of a trial and error for Players Cup 2. So maybe 92, 93 rep is probably what's needed. The number doesn't go up exponentially just because um, after a certain amount, it feels like gaining any rep is not a given. That being said, Alex Shemansky did shatter a bunch of records by going for 173 rep with his Sent to Scorch deck. So today I want to show you guys what I played and the lists I played. So I started off the tournament playing a Luke Metal, right? And my first key was one with Luke Metal, and I realized that's really boring. So here's the Luke Metal list that I used personally. These are a lot of lists that I put together for the Players Cup 3 specifically and took some time to hone. This is the Luke Metal list I used. It was very similar to the one I played in Players Cup 2 to get my last 10 tournaments in. I think the only difference really is I have less tag calls in this version than I did previously, and I just added more energy. But typically, I would like to maybe have a second tag call, but otherwise, the list was pretty good. I was just kind of bored with Luke Metal, so I didn't play more of it. Um, and then if we go back to display capture, we can say then I went with 3 ADP tournaments and then Pika and then back to ADP. So this is a really crucial thing to note that the first iteration of ADP I played was different from the second half of the, like, or not second half, but like literally the back half of the tournaments. So I'll show the Pika and ADP list and the Eternatus list as well, and then I'll pivot once again, okay? So we're going to go back to this, and then so this was the first ADP iteration of the list I played. Now the list only had one Mawile. The list had two big charms as opposed to uh, vitality bands, and I played two Crobats because I was expecting a power plant heavier meta, um, as opposed to three Dedenne. So I was more so expecting a power plant meta and a Luke Metal meta more than anything. And Luke Metal kind of phased itself out in the early phases. I didn't see much of it after like the first couple days. So I played like 6 or 7 tournaments with this list and performed pretty okay. And then we played Pika. Where is it? Where's my peaks list? Did I just delete it because I was pissed? No, it's still here. Um, so I played this Pika list. I took this from Trainer Chip, uh, and it seemed really good because he was winning tournaments with it. Yelgron plus Crushing Hammer, the combo seemed really, really strong, as well as being able to electrify on the first turn. You guys can stop and snag the list if you want here. It seemed like a really strong list, but after getting, I believe I got 2 bottom 4s and a top 4. I realized this might not be the best deck for me, or like it might not be the best suited for Players Cup specifically. So I kind of abandoned the idea. And then I wanted to play Eternatus, and I didn't really know the route to go with. So I was watching Chip's stream, and Chip sent me this and said you should play it. So credit goes to Trainer Chip, obviously. I'm not gonna like go into more in depth about the list, but the whole list is very cheeky. It focuses around Rose, or not focuses, but Rose plus Rose Tower is a combo that allows you to kind of bypass Crushing Hammer in the end game, because against things like ADP, you're probably going to take your first 5 prizes pretty easily, but that last prize is going to be really hard to take if Crushing Hammer or like your active E-turn actually gets knocked out. So in that case, that's where Rose comes in handy to revamp your board. So now let's switch pivots again. Let me show my display capture for the spreadsheet. Then I went through and played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tournaments with ADP, and then went back to that Eternus list that I showed, and then 3 more with ADP. So now I'm going to show this ADP list that I used for the remainder of the tournament um, in that regard. So that ADP list is over here. I called it aggro because it's a little bit different. So basically what this ADP list does is like one less switching card because the air balloon is out. I have a second Mawile because it really felt crucial against things like Eternatus, Desi Goons, like all these cheeky decks, like even Pikarom. Like nobody really expected a second Mawile, even though I grew to love it, and I think it's pretty standard now. Whoa, sorry. Um, we went back to 4 E-switch. You know, 4 boss. The Marty count went down lower. We decided maybe we don't need as many supporters because we have the 3 to Dene, the Crobat. We're going to be drawing cards with the remainder of our deck. Basically, we want a boss every turn is kind of the idea with the deck. And then Vitality Band. Vitality Band actually made a gigantic difference because Mewtwo and Pikarom is actually a very big problem. And then, yeah, I think that was the biggest thing. And then if Pikarom played Big Charm, that was also a little bit important to deal with. But the Vitality Band actually came in handy. Against things like Scorch, the Vitality Band on ADP allowed me to get a knockout on things like Heatran. So that was really crucial as well. But otherwise, this is probably the list that I am heavily favoring moving into the Players' Cup Phase 2 qualifiers. If I do move that far, I assume I will. And then I pivoted to Scorch after seeing Alex Shemansky's tweet. This is Alex Shemansky's list. You guys can check him out on Twitter. I basically just copied and pasted it, and then I went. I did okay with it. I didn't get like super amazing results. And then I pivoted back to ADP. And then we had a couple of fun decks that I wanted to play towards the end, so I'm going to show those lists as well. After I knew that I had virtually qualified with like 5 keys to go, I kind of gave my chat the option to pick some fun decks that I didn't, I guess, do so well with. But here's one of them. I can show all these lists here. Aurora Mewtwo, this list I just copied and pasted from one of the Limitless tournaments. I actually played it 0 times, so I have not tested it. I was not confident in my own ability as a player to play it because I've been a little bit out of the game. So I don't know. This seems good. Didn't play it. Baby Blaze was a deck that I thought was really strong, but I've always been reluctant to play Baby Blaze. But I know how powerful it can actually be, so I made like the most streamlined cut and dry version I could. Yeah. I was working on this Dragapult Lycanroc deck, or that I saw from one of the Limitless tournaments, but I didn't actually get a chance to complete it or try it. I want to try it on ladder later. Maybe it becomes a pivotal option moving forward into the next phase. Licky Licky I played 2 tournaments with everybody. So what Licky Licky does is Licks goes crazy, discards a card from the top of their deck, their hand, and they're active. So with hammers, you can actually kind of mess up ADP. Scorch is probably a terrible matchup. Luke Metal's probably super easy because you just like out tempo them eventually. And then you have Clefable to put stuff back onto the top of their deck. So they have the top deck and energy, so you know that you're controlling their top deck as well. Delmise to get an item, kind of keep the lock going. Coco to, etc., etc. I played this for 2 tournaments. It was actually pretty funny. I got donked in one of them, but the other one I did make top 4, and I was very close to winning. Mad Party, I didn't play this once, but I really felt like Mad Party could be a very strong option in terms of just catching people off guard. Yeah. Welder Mewtwo I did play for 1 tournament. This is based on, I believe, Sean Pluto's Limitless Major list. Maybe 2 cards off. Basically, it's just the most consistent Mewtwo version. You're lacking on options in terms of what you can do because you're missing Naganadel and Muck, which I think are the biggest omissions. But in turn, you are given a better chance to win the game. This is nothing. This is nothing. And then this is a deck that I also played for funsies for 1 tournament. It's something that I've just been having fun with. It's a Porygon Z-Box that relies on the amazing rares. Granted, when the new set comes out, you can replace some of these cards with things like the Evital Amazing Rare and the Reshiram Amazing Rare and change the list a little bit. But other than that, that's everything I played during this qualification process. As you guys can see, I'm not bluffing. I actually have no keys left. Well, let me know. See, yeah, it says I'm out of keys. So I'm done. I'm at 97 rep. I can pull it up on the leaderboards really quickly if you guys don't mind waiting, not mating. Please don't mate. And that's a sin. Search rankings. Standard format, please. So let's display capture, share it here. If you want to look for it, yeah, you just go to standard format leaderboards this month. Mew Pip, that's our boy Alex Shemansky here. So if you go to page 4, I believe I should be here. No, page 3. I'm over here in 75th with 97 rep. And then we can see where the bottom bar is for 256th in NA. It's currently at 66. and I feel like a lot of people are petering out around 60, 70. But the bottom, I think the bar will be raised to about 89 still. And then, yeah, you guys can check your global, whatever you want as you go. But that is my video for the rep. Here are my lists. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment below. Let me know how you're doing, that kind of stuff. So give me a follow on TikTok, all that kind of stuff. So thank you so much for watching, and that's my video.